Good afternoon. Welcome to Who's Tom and Dick? With your hosts, Martin Weavers and Patrick Mortimer. Friday the 22nd of March 2024. Welcome to Who's Tom and Dick? Hello, Martin.
Hello, Patrick. Quarter of the way through the year, are we?
I know this is podcast number 26. So
wow.
That way we're actually halfway through. We've done 6 months.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is incredible. But at least we're in the spring.
6 months of jokes of the week, eh?
Yeah. Anyway, we've got some really exciting news today that we've got to touch upon, of course, haven't we? And that is that you've just received your latest scan results from your cardiologist.
I have.
No, not your cardiologist.
My oncologist.
Your oncologist. I've got a cardiologist. You've got an oncologist.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. Yes, I went to Bury St Edmunds Hospital a couple of days ago, and I'd had my CT scan previous to that. I'd had blood tests previous to that. And then I go for my consultation, and he's given me the best news in the whole wide world that the cancer has actually shrunk even more.
This is amazing, isn't it? Really?
It is, yes.
And this is all because of this new drug that you're going to tell us what it is now.
Lorlatinib.
There you go. You're saying that so many times now, you get it right every time.
I know, but it's a wonder drug. I mean, it may not work on everybody, but it's certainly working on me. And I meant to send you the pictures, but it's only a couple of days ago. But anyway, I will send them to you because when you look at one picture, my lung just looked full of cancer.
Right.
And when
you have got stage 4, haven't you? So that's probably the worst case scenario, isn't it?
It was all sort of clung around this sort of bendy bit on my lung and all that, which I can see the ribs. Yeah. But I can't make out what this bit is around the lung and all that. But anyway, so now we've got the other one. It's almost as if someone's got, you know, what you can do on your phone when you get your finger and you can put a piece of mark around something and eradicate it. Well, it almost looks as if someone's got that, done that.
Sort of airbrushed it out.
Yeah, on the X-ray. Yeah, because the lines on it look so definitive and everything on it. But and just in the middle now, I've just got 2 white spots, whereas on the previous one, I'd got 6 spots.
Yeah.
But as I said, all this bit around the side, around this bendy bit, and the bottom of the lung, it's all gone.
Oh, brilliant. You have to try and send me those photographs.
I will.
Put them in a format, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So I can put them on the screen, on the website.
Yeah, definitely. I don't mind people seeing it.
Because that will give an indication of just how this cancer is being eradicated in your lung.
Yeah, and how it could happen to anybody listening.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of hope, with these modern drugs, isn't there?
Yeah. I know. It was purely as an experiment that he said, let's try Lorlatinib, and I said, you're in charge. And I think Dr. Patterson deep down is really, really pleased what's happening.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like having, I don't know, it's not a monster, but you've got something in front of you, that, a person. Yeah. And you're trying to save their life. Yeah. And it must make up for all the, sort of cases where, unfortunately, he's not able to help people.
And that's with an interruption of about 3 weeks as well. You had to stop taking the drug because you'd hurt your toe.
That's right. I broke my toe at Christmas. And so that was exactly 4 weeks off. Yeah. And then
So that drug must have kept on working even though you weren't taking it.
Yeah.
Mustn't it? And then it picked up again when you started taking the drug again.
That's right. And then, but after the CT scan, I had to have another week off when I had that infection in my gum.
That's right.
Didn't I, when I moved?
Yeah.
So I've had periods where I've been off the Lorlatinib. Yeah. But it just shows what a strong drug it is. Because originally I was on 4. And they dropped my dose down to 3 tablets, so of 25 mil. So I have 75 milligrams of that every single day.
Do you take that all at once, or do you take it
all at once?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Just and they say take it in the mornings. The hospital first started me off in the mornings, but you talk about. I do get a couple of side effects with that, but it's nothing to worry about. I've now got to increase my statin. Right. Just by one more tablet.
Okay.
Because when you look at all the blood markers, that's the thing that's changed just slightly in there. So, and this is why they do all these tests, of course, to notice if anything's changing in my body.
Yeah, well, you get a lot of can get a lot of side effects from drugs, can't you? And I mean, statins are there to lower your cholesterol mainly. That's what they're used for. But and you have put a little bit of weight on, haven't you? Mm-hmm. So it might not be the drugs that's causing the high cholesterol. It might actually be the donuts that you're eating.
I don't eat donuts, but anyway, talking about that.
Don't eat donuts.
Well, now and again I do. You talk as if I eat them every day, but
what does your wife call you, a donut?
Yeah, I came over today and I forgot my mobile phone, didn't I?
Yeah.
So she sent a message to say that I was a donut.
But that's interesting that on serious now that you have actually put on some weight. Mm-hmm. And the markers that have changed.
You never mentioned it, so
no, I didn't like to. But you have put on a bit of weight, and your markers that have changed have been cholesterol. So they your blood, which statins control cholesterol. So he's obviously thinking that you might have a cholesterol issue, but it could be because you're just eating a bit more. It could be. I'm not trying to.
Now I was going to say, eating. But you didn't let me say earlier.
Go on, then.
That we've actually spoke about this, me and Linny.
Oh, but have you spoke that with your oncologist?
No, he doesn't. I'd have to speak to the dietitian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she. But I never ring her.
Yeah. No.
But, no, Linny and I spoke about different things and how we're going to change, or we're just going to start my eating habits because, I don't eat some good things, and but not just cakes. There's other things that you eat that you think are okay, and so we've now thought out different things that we're going to get so I can nibble on. Yeah. Because they did say that one of the tablets I'm on would give me an increased appetite, and I am 100% positive they have. Yeah, I could eat for England at the moment.
Right.
It's it's not an illness.
No,
but it's something that.
Well, my dietitian said that if you get these hunger fangs, drink sort of a glass of water, and that kills it.
Right.
Or helps kill it.
Yeah, it's not the same as a donut.
No, it's not. You're telling me, mate.
Yeah.
I love me chocolate and cakes and things as well.
But I do, at night times, I have blackcurrant, orange. I have a pint of it. Yeah. And then I'll have another. I have about 3 pints a night of that kind of drink. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still hungry.
Right, okay. Well, that's not working for you then, is it really?
No, it must. Well, he did say, I forget which tablet it is and what it's for. But
the trouble is when you you look at a bowl of apples and you look at a packet of donuts.
Oh yeah.
There's no comparison, is there? Or isn't for me. I'd go for the donut every time.
So that's another thing I've started eating at night. It's apples. This new thing now. Yeah. And they have to be the sweeter kind because otherwise I wouldn't eat them. But I get hula hoops that are
the light ones.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, I use them now instead of the other ones, and various things I've altered and
good
and sugar-free jelly.
The trouble is, all this stuff that's supposedly better for you is more expensive as well, isn't it?
It
is, which is really poor.
Yeah.
So for people who are really on a budget, it's more expensive to try and stay healthy. I'm not talking
at least I'm thinking about it anyway. Yeah. That's the main thing.
So brilliant.
So,
okay. Anyway, that's good news. So we've got that.
Under control.
Under control. That's brilliant. So the trouble is as that cancer shrinks, the picture is going to be you're going to hardly see any improvement, aren't you?
No, because where it is now, it's not hidden because they must be able to pick it up on the CT scan.
Yeah,
but you can hardly see any.
Yeah.
So we will see.
Good. Brilliant news.
We'll see.
Our talk at Sudbury Sporting Memories.
Yes.
Wasn't that an experience?
Yeah, first time together on stage, and you did your little bit of hypnosis, didn't you? That was quite interesting.
Yeah.
And basically all we wanted to do was tell people what we're doing this for, and get it out to people to, if they are not feeling well.
That was quite interesting because, we've sat behind microphones. We used to do comedy and stuff in theatre stages and things in front of lots of people. But recently, the podcast has just been sitting behind microphones. Okay, we've interviewed a few guests, for the first time standing up in front of people and try and present again in a slightly different manner was strange, really. Okay, you've been doing your singing, you've recently stopped, but for me, I mean, it's the first time I've actually done it, apart from Wendy's birthday, where I stood up and just done a little speech. But it's strange, but it's interesting. Doing that, wasn't it?
It makes you think that you could do talks and things like that at other places as well.
Yeah.
So good practice.
The main aim of our talk was to promote positive mental attitude.
Oh yes,
which so many people seem to lack, especially as they get older or start to get illnesses or complaints. It's very difficult, when you've been so healthy for so many years, suddenly to find you can't do the things you used to be able to do. Because the body does age.
Oh yeah. Your mind stays the same sometimes, but it's something it just change. Physically you change as well. So,
but if you don't use it, you lose it. It's as simple as that. So you've got to try and stay physically active if you can for as long as you can.
And we want to thank Andy Reid at Sporting Memories for inviting us down.
Thanks very much for that, Andy. And we must get him back on the podcast again soon because he's still got a lot of information to share with us about his illness.
He was the first person we ever interviewed, wasn't he? And way back in about the fourth week, I think it was.
Now we know what we're doing, or think we know what we're doing. Perhaps we could do a better interview with him, couldn't we?
You never know.
Anyway, you want to move on to CPR.
Yeah.
What does that stand for? I knew exactly what your face changed there, because you don't know, do you?
I do.
Oh, do you? Oh, blast.
But the statins have made me forget. No, I didn't actually. I was talking to someone the other day, and everybody says CPR.
Yeah.
So
I've often wondered what it means. I don't know.
Yeah, but lots of people look it up on their phones nowadays, don't they? So, I think everybody's known it as CPR. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about it. So because
you far away.
Yeah, we got a guy called Spike who's going to come in, and he's going to do some better talks, and he'll probably actually mention this in his talk. But first of all, for CPR, you need to check for a response and firmly shake the person's shoulders and loudly ask if they're okay. Then you need to call 999, which obviously if you're in America or a different country is a different one, different number, 911 in America. If the person is unconscious and not breathing or not breathing normally, then you can start the CPR. If someone's with you, ask them to find the nearest defibrillator.
Defib for short.
Defib we'll call it, because my nephew laughs at the way I say it. So find the nearest defib. Start the chest compressions with the heel of your hand, which is under, the bottom of your palm there, and put that in the center of their chest. Press down smoothly and firmly, and you have to do it at a rate of 2 per second. That's so you're pushing it down, and try pushing to the beat of "Staying Alive." That's what they say. But the one I learned was
as a bit of a. I know as a good beat.
Yeah,
but "Staying Alive" really.
Well, it's a.
I know, but the title of the "Staying Alive."
Yeah, I know. I don't think you want to sing it to them. But equally, the one I learned when I did it was Nelly the Elephant.
Oh, was that?
So, did you want to try and revive someone? Nelly the Elephant, back to trunk. I don't think so. No. But just try and keep that to yourself. So you can practice this at any time at home. So you haven't got to go to a special people. So all you need to do is get a cushion on the floor and try the chest compressions. And I think you'll be surprised how out of breath you get, because I know I did. So, and then there's CPR on babies as well, which is a little bit different. So you have to turn the child on their back, open their mouth, and gently tilt the head back enough to open the airway. But don't forget to support the neck while you do it, okay? Pinch their nose, seal the mouth with your mouth, and breathe out firmly until their chest rises. Wait for their chest to fall before giving the next breath. At first, give 5 of these rescue breaths, okay? And then you put one hand in the center of the child's chest, aim for the breastbone, push down 5 centimetres, sorry.
5 inches, blimey.
5 centimetres at a rate of 2 per second again. Repeat 15 times to a swift, steady beat. Remember, staying alive. Or Nelly the elephant. After giving 15 chest compressions, give 2 rescue breaths and keep repeating the cycle. Once you have a defib, place the pads on the child immediately and turn it on. If someone's with you, they could do this with you while you continue to do the CPR. But follow the defib instructions. If you can't get a machine, keep on with the CPR. And just lastly, as a quick note, on a baby under a year, carry out the steps 1 and 2, but steps 3, use 2 thumbs and press down slightly less than 4 centimetres.
Right. Okay.
So, and don't forget that was centimetres, not inches. When I first mentioned. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's just a sort of brief summary of what you have to do, and that's from the Red Cross.
Right.
That's where I
think most people would be frightened to use a defib on a baby. That would be quite.
Or anybody really, because you know that person's life is at risk.
But I mean the pads are so big. I suppose they have pediatric pads.
Yeah.
But the body is so small for a little infant, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we're going to do training, aren't we?
Yes, on the 5th of April in Sudbury, we've got free Start a Heart Day. But that doesn't go around the rest of the world, unfortunately.
No. But I'm sure. I wonder if Andy does any. Well, we don't know, but if he did do any videos. We'll put some links possibly onto our...
Well, we're going to be there, so there might be an opportunity for us to do something and put it on our website, and that might assist.
Because we hope to do some recording, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So you never know. But I believe you've got a letter from Mr. Watts from America.
Yes, he did at first originally say he'd come on our podcast. We'd have to do it over Zoom because we haven't got any travelling budget to the US of A. But then I think he got a little bit nervous about talking about it, so he's decided to put it all down on paper and send it to me. So I've got it here, which I'm going to read out, and I apologise for my reading before I start, because sometimes that doesn't go quite according to plan. But anyway,
we know.
That's why Martin asked me to explain that I'm going to be reading it. So I couldn't remember all this anyway. So it starts, today marks the 11th year anniversary, where I sat at a Wednesday night service at Pleasant Grove Community Church, listening to Calvin Martin preach, holding hands, asking for prayers, all joined in fellowship as we worshipped together. Not a large group, maybe 10 people. As I would sit down, I felt like I had heartburn over something I had eaten earlier for dinner. It would go away when I stood and sang. I left the service, went home, checked all my horses, and quietly went inside to eat a few ho-hos. I'm not sure what ho-hos are.
I reckon they're chocolate biscuits.
Right, ho-hos. And a glass of milk before I went to bed. Around midnight, I awoke and rolled over thinking to myself, this heartburn is getting worse. So I arose and started looking for some Tums. I guess they're like Rennies in the UK. Heartburn tablets.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of Gaviscon again.
Within seconds, drops of sweat fell from my ears and nose, and at that moment I knew something was seriously wrong. I called 911 and waited outside anxiously for the Salem Township ambulance to arrive. I walked into the back of it and we took off, stopping in Morrow so the EMT could meet us and attend to what I realised was a heart attack taking place. 1 hour later I arrived at Beth North. At some point, I had already flatlined 2 times in transit. I remember waking up to the ambulance beeping. I remember a few things that happened in the emergency room. I was told later that I continued to flatline for another 11 times, as a Dr. Richard Callan kept shocking me. At one point, he put wet towels on me between the pads and my chest because the shocks were starting to burn my skin. Then, with the nurses and family in tow, at this point my family Anna, Bill, Randy and Chrissy, my niece Rebecca and my son Brandon waited with me in the IC unit. As other family members shortly arrived, they never left my side for a moment. The call was placed to Pastor Calvin Martin to come right away. Once I was stable, I was placed in medical-induced coma for 72 hours to let my body and organs rest. As the rest of my family arrived, a lot of praying started and continued. When I woke up, the room was full, all waiting to see how much damage my body and my mind had suffered due to the trauma and lack of oxygen to my organs. I remember waking slowly, hearing my cousin Lauren's voice, and I remember a conversation I had a week earlier with my other son. I then asked what had happened, and I was told I had a massive heart attack. My widowmaker was blocked, 97%, with 3 other arteries at 95% blockage, and 1 at 85%. Wow. Total of 5 blockages. I remained in the cardiac ICU for 15 days until the doctors felt I was strong enough for surgery. I went in and was given 5 bypasses at 47 years old. I tell this story every day. It helps me to find closure. I am eternally grateful to Dr. Cullen for not giving up. I have come to realise that God held me with both hands for some reason that night. I share this with you in the hopes that after you read this, you will know how precious life is, and to tell the people that are in your life how much you love them every day and how special they are to you. You never know when you will eat your last ho-ho.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I feel quite honoured, really.
Yeah.
That someone wants to write to our podcast so we can share it. And obviously that will go a lot over America and all that. But it just shows you, doesn't it? You know, life is unexpected. You don't know what's going to happen next. We could be doing something quite normal and then bang.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean, with that amount of blockages, you'd have thought that he would have... he's not mentioned it, I haven't asked him, but you'd have thought that he would have had symptoms leading up to that previously, you know, over the course of a few days or even weeks, you know, shortness of breath but sometimes that creeps up on you, and that happens over time, and you just think that's age.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be able to walk this lane for, you know, easily, but now I'm finding that difficult. Well, I'll put it down to age, but no, something else could be afoot. So if you're suffering from things like that,
perhaps Mr. Watts can give us an letter back. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And if he did have any symptoms beforehand, that would be quite interesting, and we'll certainly give that a mention and a follow up.
Yeah,
wouldn't we?
I've got a friend who I've been in touch with.
You've got a friend?
I have.
Have you?
I've got a friend.
I thought I was your friend.
You've got a friend in me. Didn't know I could sing, did you?
He never did sing in the actor.
Yeah, I've got a friend who I first started work with, funnily enough, and I've been in touch with him recently, and he's been suffering with breathlessness and pains in his chest and things. He's been for various tests, and eventually they sent him for an angiogram, and they found out that he needs 3 stents.
Oh, good.
So good on him for actually getting tested. And
did you mention his name?
No, I can't mention his name.
No.
He's not giving me permission to say any of this.
Okay, yeah.
So, but good on him for getting tested. That's the thing. He's now lined up for 3 stents,
right,
which are due to be put in June of this year.
June
seems a bit of a wait to me because you know, it's quite a serious situation when you have blockages.
Well, we're
like
March
that.
the 22nd today.
Yeah.
And you've got to wait till June.
Yeah, so it's nearly 3 months, isn't it?
But anything could happen in
well,
we hope it doesn't, of course.
He's on drugs, which is obviously a good thing because that will help keep his blood from clotting, blood thinners and things like that, I'm sure, and other things, high blood pressure. So he's on the drugs that should stop him having a heart attack, which is good. And he is aware of the situation. So obviously, if he's worried, he can call 999 or go straight to A&E. So he's aware. But yeah, it is a little bit concerning that he's having to wait that long for treatment. Hopefully, he knows where his nearest defib is. I'm not trying to frighten anybody here.
No.
But you know, when you know you're in that situation, there's a lot of things you can put in place just in case something happens. So yes, so we wish him all the well, and hopefully I might even be able to get him on the podcast at some stage.
Yeah, that'd be good.
To let us know his experience.
Yeah, there's a couple of people we know we want to try and get on our sort of friends, don't we?
Well, the majority of people we've had on so far around the heart have had a heart attack, and that's how they've found out they've got an issue. Whereas this guy has found out he's got an issue before he's had any major events.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to follow that story through from, how he thought, hang on, something's wrong here, where he went, how he got diagnosed, how they decided to finally treat him, and the wait from today through to June to get that treatment.
I can't believe how long it is.
While he's still feeling unwell, of course, because he'll probably be feeling breathless, tired, anxiety, pains, all those sort of things. And of course, when you've not had the treatment, the anxiety kicks in.
Oh, yeah.
And plays a big part in your...
mind games, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Things like that.
So hopefully, we wish him all the best anyway, and hopefully he'll be out soon.
And hopefully he'll come on the show and talk all about
That'd be good.
By the way, did you ever find out what CPR stood for?
Oh, I did.
Did you?
I don't know whether I better tell you what it is, because that says Cardiopulmonary Resuscitation. So the CP is one word.
All right.
Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. God, why do we have to deal with all these tricky words in this blooming business? Well, that's the only complaint I've got about being ill, is that everything is complicated. Aspirin, now I can cope with aspirin. I can say that easily. But some of these long, elongated words, why? Why the heck do we have them?
And the other thing we've got to find out is what are they yo-yos? Ho-hos.
Somebody said to me, and I thought about this is an interesting fact. What was an electric eel called before electricity was invented?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
So why can't somebody come up with an easy name?
I did a lot of health and safety, and everything in that was just letters, and that it was so hard to remember. Like the Health and Safety at Work Act. I can, but it's HSW and all things like this, and everything was. There's a name for the initials.
Mnemonics.
No, it's not mnemonics. That might be. I can't remember anyway. But no, I'll get it. Someone writing
Statins.
Statins. Yes, it's a word that means that everything is initialed. And when I sat the exam, that was so hard to remember. Yeah. But it's the other way around. Were you saying about long names for dentistry, for hospital things? I preferred that for my exams.
All right. Well, mnemonics, I believe, is when they give you the first few letters of a sentence.
Oh, okay.
So, like CPR is a mnemonic because the actual word is too difficult to say or remember.
Yeah.
But why do we have to give these drugs these ridiculously long names? Are they coming from the Latin dictionary? Or is it just so doctors can scribble on a piece of paper and you don't understand what the scribble says?
Well, a lot of these drugs, if they're all, say like my cancer ones, they all end in inib, INIB.
Yeah.
So there might be mine, Lorlatinib. There might be something else, ib. And the whole family of tablets end in inib, INIB.
Well, it's the same with statins, isn't it? I've had another statin, I can't remember what it's called, but the one I'm on at the moment is atrastatin. But there's other statins. And
they end in IN.
And they end in,
Yeah, because the other one we mentioned last week that you was on.
I don't know, I just think our podcast would be a lot easier if the names were like aspirin and do you take a pill or a tablet?
Yeah, that's right.
Bisoprol, pantoprazole, ramipril, aspirin. What the heck's going on here?
I know.
Still, there you go. You're not alone, guys.
No, you're not alone. Well, we're not alone.
We're not alone, no. What's next?
Thank you very much. Here's my joke of the week. What have you got if you have a green ball in one hand and a green ball in the other hand?
I don't know, Martin. What have you got if you've got a green ball in one hand and a green ball in the other hand?
You've got complete control of the Incredible Hulk.
That doesn't bear thinking about, actually. Well, there you go.
There's another
time, yeah.
Blimey, what you got lined up? Anything?
I've got nothing lined up.
No, I'm going to have a lazy week, I think.
Yeah, me too. We've been busy over the last couple of weeks, haven't we? And, with the podcast, Race for Life.
Race for Life.
And
having your picture in the paper.
The radio interview as well we had last week.
It's hard work.
Sudbury Memories. Oh my God, our life is so busy.
It is.
I don't know how we fit it all in.
Rest.
You'll be getting Betsy out soon and going on holiday, won't you?
I know. Got to warm her up. She's going for an MOT this week.
Oh, good. That's the equivalent to a scan, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I know.
You'll probably be more nervous about Betsy getting through the
let's
MOT.
hope she's not ill.
Anyway.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good week. Bye.
Bye.